Hi, it's Leanne Spencer of Body Shop Performance. Hope you're well, hope you're staying healthy. This week's 5 and 5 is about managing anxiety. Now, this is something that over my life, it's sort of come in and out a little bit. I wouldn't say I have a lot of anxiety, but it is very prevalent at the moment. I think it's on the increase. I think it's something we're going to have a much bigger problem with post-pandemic. So I wanted to give you three very practical tips on how you can manage anxiety. Now, the first one is breathing. It's a shortness of breath which contributes to the feelings of anxiety, but we can consciously control this by taking long, deep breaths. So sometimes it's helpful to put one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, big inhale. Hold the breath for a second. And then a slow exhale through the mouth. What this does is it helps to put our nervous systems into a parasympathetic dominant state. In other words, into the side of the nervous system which allows us to rest and digest. It relaxes us. But also, if you do this in a very practiced way and for a certain period of time, a few minutes, you can also significantly reduce your resting heart rate, the number of times your heart beats per minute when you're at rest. You can also significantly reduce your blood pressure and even take some of the cortisol out of your blood, cortisol being the stress hormone. So it's very, very powerful way of relaxing your nervous system. And it can be done anytime, anywhere, by anyone. You're breathing anyway, so it's the ultimate leverage. So that is my massive tip number one. Number two is movement. Now, you definitely don't want to be doing high intensity frenetic movement, but gentle movement can be really good for easing anxiety. And this is something when I've had little flashes of it, I've definitely gone out and gone for a walk and it's really, really helped. So definitely some gentle movement, yoga, walking, stretching is also great, and stretching will release endorphins, which interact with pain receptors in the body, so that will relax you as well. So breathing, movement, and you can combine those two. So you could be walking, for example, and do a box breathing exercise, which is breathe in for 5, hold the breath for 5, breathe out for 5, hold the exhalation for 5, and that is box breathing, and you can do that as you walk. And then the very last tip is about the news. Again, it comes back to nervous system management. I have a total ban on news. I don't consume any news actively. Of course, I see things come into my Facebook feed and people tell me what's going on in the world, but I don't go onto news sites. Interestingly, a couple of months ago, around Christmas time actually, I did start jumping on the news for once or twice a day. And I immediately found I started to feel more anxious because the news is all doom and gloom. It's all headlines that will put fear into us, make us feel anxious. And often I notice it's the same news article, the same MP talking about the same thing with a different headline. So it's just regurgitating the same bad news. It's like hitting yourself over the head with a bat again and again and again, and then wondering why it hurts. I would really urge you to think about some sort of news ban. So breathe, move, and don't consume the news. And I can assure you that will have a positive effect on your physiology, a positive effect on your nervous system, and help to manage some of that anxiety. I hope that's helpful. Stay healthy. Talk to you next week.